At first, I wasn't gonna make a video because I'm pretty tired, but I just feel like everybody needs to start speaking up, especially everything that's been happening in recent events. Uh, I feel like if you scroll past this, you should go ahead and listen. If you don't want to, don't. You don't have to. I'm not gonna force you to do anything you don't want to do, but I think you should. Rest in peace to Charlie Kirk. Uh, he was a really good guy. He was a really kind guy. He really didn't mean any harm to anyone. And I think a lot of people don't really understand the message when they say that that's a sin. Like when he would say gay is a sin, or they doesn't want trans going into women's bathroom, or you know even stuff he even said about black community. Like I don't think it even made him a bad person at all. I mean, we should be all able to voice our opinions. It's kind of shitty that one of the most kind debaters, political voice activists, a kindest person that I would always watch debates of. I kind of wish I got to meet him. But the thing that I don't understand is what the fuck are we doing, America? What are we fucking doing? It's all about Biden this, Trump this. No one's thinking about what's the perfect president to pick right now, or not really the perfect president. That'd be an over exaggeration. What would be the right one to pick in the scenario of the candidates we were given? It would be Trump. I'm sorry to say, but it would be Trump. I like Trump as a person. He's a he's a pretty unique individual, to be honest. Uh, did he deserve to be Trump? Did he deserve to be president? Mm, maybe not, but he's doing pretty good so far. Has he done some things here and there that might have been some mishaps? Sure. What president hasn't? But after Charlie Kirk's death, you got all these leftists. I don't even want to call them Democrat anymore because, like, if you read up a lot about what a Democrat really stands for, it's like they're not really Democrats, really. They're just leftists. Like, that's just the best to call it. It's almost like that's the cult in their terms. I mean, I'm not even part of MAGA, even though I'm more right than left. But they would still call me MAGA. I still think it's a great slogan. I mean, only people that would think that's not a great slogan is people who don't want America to be great. And if I get that pointer out of it, and then you get people from the left side jumping and parading over the death of Charlie Kurt and having joyous vibes of it, shows you that they're anti-American and also very devilish like people. That's some diabolical type shit right there. I'm not gonna lie. Like, what is the point in doing that? Just because of not wanting a freaking mass murder to be misgendered? Who cares about that shit? You know what's very interesting about that? What is trans? And I have the right to say this, and I can even say the same thing about, what Charlie would say was a gay is sin. I'm pansexual. I'm already trying to go more closer to Jesus and be not sexual at all, actually. And I think that's kind of where I'm at now. That I don't really, I'm just completely celibate. I don't really do any type of sexual activity whatsoever. I already have a kid, and only thing I could focus on most in my life is a brighter future for her and me and the family that's under my roof. But back to what I was trying to get to is what is trans exactly? Because logically, growing up, I always thought trans was, you were you had feminine characteristics above feminine legs, and then you had a dick and balls. And then for a man, you were actually, and they were born that way. And then for a man, or the male version, technically be the female version, or the, I'm saying I'm getting that all mixed up because freaking stupid stuff, stupid identity shit. Uh, but like born with, like me, with male characteristics and have a vagina was trans, and they like both of those two were born that way. I thought, well, I always thought that was trans. When did trans become a female, all born female with a vagina, a reproductive system, and all that stuff, start becoming trans or non-binary? We guess we would say, but they even consider themselves trans. What's funny is one of my favorite trans activists is Blair White. Reason why is because she doesn't really get along with the trans community because she's an actual trans. And she disagrees with everything the trans has to say. You should go watch the Hodge twins about it. Blair White's on there, and honestly, she's a very attractive trans. I would date a trans, so I have all right to say anything about what's going on in the world about trans. Charlie Kirk didn't need to die for opening up his opinion. I think we all need to start voicing our opinion, and we need to do it now. It's speak up or die trying, and I mean that as in you need to start speaking up now. We all need to start speaking up now and voicing our opinions about what's going on in the world. Making videos like this, we need to start voicing ourselves because if we don't, it's going to get to that point where we're not allowed to speak at all. We're not allowed to do anything and voice our opinions, and it's going to be even worse than it is now. It's terrible now, but it's going to get way worse if we don't do anything about it. And we need to make America a better place, and it's going downhill. That's the one thing is why I shoot towards more right, because when you look at a lot of things on the right side, not completely all the way right, but a lot of things on the right side, you come to an understanding that it's more patriotic going right, and then it's more anti-American going left. Like freedom of speech gets taken away. They'll try and take away most rights for male individuals, white male individuals to be precise. I don't know why, but they'll break it down to just specifically male individuals when they get to it. They will. And honestly, I don't get that. It doesn't make any fucking sense to me whatsoever. And then, honestly, I was raised, I don't see color. I got black cousins. I honestly don't really care for the word black or white because being an artist, like those depictate and have two different definitions that don't even characterize anything of a human's ethnicity. But okay, humanity. Anyway, statistics have shown that there are about 13% of black population in the United States. Assume that's what statistics said. Said that wrong because I am furious about what's gone on in today's recent events. I'm pissed. This is 13% of the black community. And then for white, I think it's like 56. And then for Hispanic or Mexican, it's like 16 or 26% or something like that in the population. The rest is, like different other ethnicities and nationalities and stuff. But out of that 13%, you get the crime rate as high as 60 for murderous crimes or even crimes that harm people, because that would be the 30% for murderous crimes, 30% from crimes that harm people or endanger people. Kind of, that's what makes up that 60%. But that's okay, because for white people, it's, I told you it was 56%. 51% is like racial crimes. I don't really know how they categorize that versus a bunch of blacks versus a white. But yeah. But a bunch of whites racially profiling people, racial crimes or whatever, that's 51%. And then sexual offenders, it's like 52 or 53 or some shit like that, which is bad. But then I look at, go right back to the Hispanic community, it's right up there in the 30 percentage, uh, 30 to 40 percentage, because it's still mostly male. And then you go into the black community and it's roughly the just the same percentage. It's basically it's rough, mainly male. Can't really blame the statistics on that, but it's kind of how it is. But you know, raised around a lot of communities, I've understood how they work, especially when certain communities get way more poor than others. They don't manage themselves, they don't take care of themselves. And I don't really, it's hard for me to say it's the black community. I think it's mainly just a community, and it just so happens a whole bunch of black people live there, and some white people, some Mexicans, and stuff like that. I don't know why we call it a ghetto, but we call it a ghetto. But a lot of people try to get away from that, that live in that type of scenario and want to live a lifestyle that seems more natural, I guess, or efficient, or I don't really know how to put that in word terms. Other people call me racist. I'm not. Because I really don't believe in racism. It's hard for me to believe in racism because if you really think about race, it doesn't really like, when you try to argue with someone about racism, they're gonna say skin color, and that's like that's all they can get out of their fucking. It's like argue with me about racism without mentioning race, racism, or color. Yeah. So it doesn't exist to me because race would not only be color, but it would also be like what a different species in a sense. Like it wouldn't even be human to be in like I don't know. To me, it just wouldn't fall in that category. Or it would be human. It would just be another categorization of human. Like you know what they we had there was giants in the past. There was freaking gnomes or dwarves in the past that were part human. Those were part human, and then what we got those three-fingered tridacta pods or whatever the fuck they're called. They're like 70% human and 35% whatever the fuck. Like, that shows you those are different races. That's how I categorize race. Again, I'm pissed off. I'm gonna start fucking my words up because I'm tired. But that's how I would categorize race. You know, something that just has completely different, distinctive differences. But they're still human. I wouldn't think any less of them if those races actually did still live and thrive today. But when did we categorize just pigmentation of ethnicity into race? It just doesn't make sense to me at all. Like, it's hard for me to see that because when I look at a so-called black individual that we call them, or a white individual that we call me, I see a human. I don't see color. But yet we use these fucking terms in society that make no sense to me. Like literally white literally means like abundance of light. It literally means purity. Never met a white man that was fucking completely pure, because you'd have to be 100% to be pure. Everyone sins. Everyone's flawed. The fuck? That doesn't make goddamn sense. And then you go right back to the definition of black. Well, in art terms, other people be like, "You're racist." Shut the fuck up. Apparently, it would say sin. The fuck? Who the fuck labeled that shit? And I wouldn't mean that in a harmful term, but they mean that as in like good and bad, and that's literally how it turns out. Like I don't even know why we even use the term black people. I'm just saying. I don't know why we use like why can't we just say people, humans, or their fucking name? I'm just saying like this isn't even fucking white. It doesn't like on the screen it does, but up in person I'm fucking peach. I'm Caucasian, I guess if you want to call it that, but it doesn't really seem like the color white. Now, albino, that's fucking white. That's an actual. That's the actual pigmentation of this goddamn Marlboro fucking pack right here, right there. That white right there. That's white. That's like that the fuck doesn't make any sense to me. Like, but I'm an artist, so I'm not really trying to mix it up with ethnicity because to me, there's no such thing as race because prove to me I'm less human than you or that you're less human than me. Because I can prove to you right now that neither of us are less human than each other. Or if I could break it down into factual definition, if you're more sub-Saharan, you would be more human than I. Actually, I would have a little bit more percentage of descendant of Neanderthal. But that doesn't bother me at all because I'm still fucking human. Like, why don't we ever get to that point? Same thing when it goes in the trans community. Like, I would date a trans. I've been in gay relationships. I'm now celibate because I've found my pathway to Jesus and God. I've been reading a lot into biblical scriptures and stuff, and honestly, it feels great. It feels great. It feels great to be able to try and reach to a higher power of things when it comes to faith. And I used to push away from that because I used to be atheist. And you know what's funny about being atheist? It's very easy but hard to do in a civilization like this. And let me prove to you why. When I was atheist, I have to grab all the morals that I have from any religion that I believed in and throw it out the window. You either believe everything is right or everything is wrong. There is no, that's right, that's wrong, that's right, that's wrong. You wouldn't be able to categorize it without God. You could say, oh, it would just be my preference. Well, there's an infinite number of preferences among human beings, so that's fucking stupid. That doesn't logically make sense, but whatever. And as a former atheist, I can say that it is stupid and completely unlogical to be able to explain atheism to a T about what you morally understand about things. With God, you could do that. With Jesus, you could do that. You can have moral understanding of what's right and wrong. But as an atheist, you have to literally destroy all of your morals. You can't have any fucking morals. Because if you do, then you're still associating yourself with the religion or the faith of God's morals. It's as simple as that. You can deny it whether you want or not, but every atheist still says, oh my God, so. And then, like I was saying about the trans, because I'm getting off topic, because I'm getting tired, more tired, but I would date a trans. It wouldn't bother me. Though I'm celibate now, I'm not really interested in even finding relationship or sexual orientation with anyone, including myself. I would do understand everyone is a human and I love everyone as they are. Everyone's free to express who they are and who they want to be. If a man wants to dress in a dress, that's fine. But you still have to come down to the basic facts of biology. You were born a man. You can identify as a female if you want. That's fine. Sure, whatever. But don't force it on other people. Don't force it on children. Don't get mad when someone misrepresents what you want to be. Everyone can't guess it. I just want a lot of people out there to start voicing your opinions. Make some little videos on Facebook about what's going on. You know, I'm going to start making a YouTube channel very soon uh, to start voicing my opinion, even debate with people about topics and stuff like that. You can find me on YouTube as Half Hood. Take it or leave it. And then I'll also leave you with God bless America and save us all.